Hey, what's up, docs? Ryan G here. I am heading to Tampa for some stuff, but I want to share with you guys something that happened to one of our clients yesterday. This is for a different business, not BlowUp Local, but he lost his Google business profile. It's been an issue for a couple months now, maybe a little bit longer, but ever since Google moved over to an AI-based algorithm, they're using AI to do more and more stuff. And Google has been shutting down thousands of people's Google business profiles accidentally, or the AI has been shutting it off. And people are losing thousands of reviews, tons of traffic to their site. You know, they're getting less phone calls. He got his Google business profile shut down. He's in the firearms industry, so he immediately sent us an email freaking out, like, what do I do? This is how I get the majority of the traffic, to my sales funnels. Spent 4 years building up his Google reviews, pictures, and just his authority, right? And then to just lose it all in the snap of a finger, it really sucks. So thankfully, we've been monitoring this happening for a long time. It's happening to a lot of people. And we know a guy who, off his business, is helping people restore these Google business profiles that have had them accidentally shut down by this Google AI. So we were able to put those two in contact. It's only about $1,000 to get the account restored. And when Tiffany shared that with him, he's like, oh my gosh, $1,000. I can't believe I have to pay $1,000. We said, listen, man, you got a choice. You can start emailing Google yourself. You can go read articles and watch YouTube videos and stuff, and you can try to figure it out on your own. It's probably going to take you 8 months to do it on your own. And then how much revenue are you going to lose in that 8-month period of getting no traffic to your site, or very little traffic, very little authority? How much money are you going to lose? Well, probably $8,000 to $10,000. Or you can hire this guy who does this for a living, who knows exactly what to do, and for only $1,000, he's going to be able to speak to Google on your behalf and get your profile turned back on in a very short amount of time. Which one would you choose? Hopefully he chooses to hire this guy and just get it done very quickly. But I think the lesson here that's really important is something Dan Kennedy is famous for saying, and he says, the most dangerous number in business is one. When you have one traffic source. In fact, I'll share another story. There's a guy who I know who's in a mastermind that I'm in. And he, for years, he ran a 7-figure business. He was getting all of the traffic for his business. All of his sales were coming from Facebook ads, which was perfect. It was great when it was working. His ads were converting really well. He was consistently getting a flow of new customers. But then one day, his Facebook ads just stopped working, stopped converting. He would come up with new creatives, new stuff, and no matter what he tried, the ads would no longer work. So now his business is gone. He was in a transactional business, which means he had to make a sale to make money. He did not have continuity, which means you're getting those same customers to pay you every single month, which helps reduce that fluctuation in income, right, and revenue. So he's in a transactional business, which is already very dangerous, and now he has no new customers coming in. So he's scrambling, trying to figure out how to get new customers to buy his, I think he sells, teaching people how to film videos and how to edit them, kind of course, stuff like that. Eventually he was able to figure it out, but it took several months. It was a lot of stress, a lot of fear. I'm sure him and his wife were very anxious. They have little kids. But that happens because he was heavily dependent on one media source to get 100% of his revenue. So how do I see this happen with chiropractors? Chiropractors get stuck in this exact same thing. There's another doc that I'm speaking to right now I've been consulting with out of South Dakota. And for 20 years, he's been running the exact same ad in 9 different newspapers for 20 years. And he said, yeah, Ryan, this ad used to work really well. I used to get a ton of new patients in and it just really worked. And I said, okay, cool. So I was very shocked when he told me that he's been running the exact same ad for 20 years. I said, that's why it's not working. I mean, when people see the same thing over and over and over again, it's almost like you become blind to it and you just don't even recognize that it exists anymore. And I said, we just need to recreate the ad and relaunch it, make it different, make sure that it's clear and speaking to the right person, and rewrite it, create a better hook, and then let's launch it and let's see what happens, right? But he's struggling. He's a little bit stressed right now, a little bit fearful. But the reason that he's struggling is that he was dependent on just those newspaper ads to be able to get new patients into his practice. Instead, we want to figure out who your perfect patient is, what your perfect patient wants, where your perfect patient is gathered. And an example of that is, if your perfect patient is somebody who's over the age of 65, suffering with peripheral neuropathy, here are some quick places that they're gathered. They're definitely reading the newspaper, because I think the stats are like 70% of people that read the newspaper are over the age of 65. Okay, so newspaper's a good spot. They're definitely on YouTube. So people over the age of 65 are consuming YouTube and Facebook content more than any other platform. Quick little side note, I have another doc that I just signed on as a client with us, and he hired this company and he's promoting peripheral neuropathy, but he's running ads on TikTok, and he's like, yeah, the ads aren't working. Yeah, they're not working because 65-year-old people are not on TikTok in large amounts. I said, but they are on Facebook and YouTube. So I get that TikTok is like the new hot thing, but if your perfect audience is not on that platform, it doesn't really matter. It's a waste of money to run ads there. Okay, so we know who the perfect patient is. We know what they want. We know where they're gathered. Now you need to be everywhere that perfect patient is. Like, we want to establish omnipresence, because the truth is, I don't remember the exact number, but they say that people need to see you and be aware of your brand like 11 times before they're actually going to take action and schedule that appointment. And they say that they've got to have 11 interactions, consume about 7 hours worth of content. This is a report that came out from Google recently, on 4 different platforms. So we want people to see you on TV. We want people to see you on that newspaper ad. We want them to see your organic content on YouTube and Facebook. We then want them, if they start searching peripheral neuropathy, to see your site, which looks beautiful, to see your Google business profile with thousands of 5-star reviews. We want all of that because we're just building the case that you are the greatest chiropractor in the world, and make it very easy for them to trust you and choose you as their provider, right? But you've got to have multiple traffic sources, because depending on one is very, very dangerous. Also have to know it is normal for businesses to lose a traffic source. Back in the day, I've heard stories about fax machines. When fax machines had just come out, people built multi-million-dollar businesses sending cold faxes. So just getting a list of fax numbers and then sending basically sales letters through the fax machine every day. And they would send thousands of them. And then the order form would be, fill out this order form and fax it back to us. And they were making tens of millions of dollars a year. There's an entire industry of just cold faxing, direct fax, I guess you could call it. But then one day, it just ended. And it ended because a new law was created federally that made it illegal basically to spam with a fax machine. So these people, these businesses, their entire livelihood and revenue was based on sending these cold faxes. It just ended, overnight, right? Which sucks. But if these types of businesses were sending the cold faxes, along with sending, direct mail, along with sending a newsletter, and then, getting them onto your house list and warming up that house list, if they were doing those things as well as the cold faxes, if you lose one, your revenue might dip a little bit, but you're not dead. Right? You're not like, holy crap, how am I going to make payroll in a couple days? And that's ultimately what we want. We want to have multiple traffic sources so that we can reduce this massive up and down of new patient acquisition and really smooth it out. Now, nothing is ever smooth in business. You might still have little things like this, right? But we want to have it a hell of a lot smoother than this all the time, right? So if you're a chiropractor and you want to try to get rid of this, send me a text message. My phone number is 813-789-9868. I'm going to show you behind the scenes of the chiropractic marketing system and how we are smoothing out the process of patient acquisition for chiropractors across the country. And we'd like to see if we can do it for you too. So shoot me a text message, and that's all I've got for today. So until next time, keep moving forward.